Becannon?
Becannon.
Becannon,
Yeah.
not Becannon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, either one.
No,
As
it's
long
not
as
either way.
it's
It's
not
one is
Buchanan.
correct. One is correct. This is actually the intro. It's arguing about how to pronounce your name.
Honestly, I don't even know how to pronounce my name. Like it's like if you say it fast, it's like Becannon, but like
But you got to do finger gun.
Becannon.
Becannon.
Yeah, Becannon. I guess.
Becannon.
But you don't got to put like a bunch of emphasis on the E, so it can really just be Becannon.
Just the B.
Becannon.
Becannon.
Yeah.
This is the intro.
Mm-hmm.
Just Becannon.
Becannon.
Now, how do you pronounce your first name?
Melissa. No. Nicole.
Melissa Becannon.
Nicole. It's Melissa spelled Nicole.
So the E is silent.
Yeah.
It's not Nicole.
No.
All right, that was full bomb right there. Should we put our feet up?
Sure.
Let's put our
that
feet up.
makes us look more.
Oh, we got
comfortable.
boots, dude. Are you riding horses later?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wear boots a lot. You know, it's Jamar. You know Jamar Neighbors.
I do know who he is. Yes.
He called me out the other day that I'm always kind of wearing some combination of jeans and boots and then like a cute top. And he was like, I feel like one day someone just told you look fire in that outfit. And so you're just like, I'm wearing this every day from now on. And I'm like, you're right.
That happened to me, and I've been wearing black shirts and black jeans for like 8 years now.
Yeah. You know, why mess with perfection?
That's right.
Why mess with a good thing? I like looking like I'm either going to, stomp on someone or ride a horse.
Or both.
Or both.
Or stomp someone on a horse riding.
Yeah.
Welcome
All of
back.
it sounds fun. Look how relaxed we are.
This is it. We should have done the whole 2 hours like this.
Yeah.
And then we'd be facing the cameras.
Yeah.
We could do another 2 hours if you want.
Sure.
All right.
Nothing to do today.
Becannon.
Becannon.
Just an hour and a half of Becannon.
The more you say it, the more it loses its meaning. Not that it ever had meaning in the first place. What is a last name?
It used to be your trade.
So what was my trade?
Becannon and stuff.
Just cannon.
Just cannon.
It had something to do with cannons?
It was. You guys were singular cannons at one point, and then a larger troop joined you, and now you're multiple cannons.
Yeah. Were there A cannons and B cannons, and we were just the B squad?
Oh yeah, you're the cannons.
Okay, great. The B squad of cannons.
Yeah.
But we are shooting shit, so that's pretty good.
That's right.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be a cannon, nope. If you are a cannon,
and you're the A squad of Brams.
I was like, where are you going with that?
Whatever branding is.
It also took me another second because that's not my real last name.
Oh.
It's a branding thing. I just changed my name a year ago.
Really?
Yeah.
What's your real last name?
I'm not gonna say it on this
Oh,
show.
okay. It's gonna be a secret forever.
No, everybody. And I said it all in the first season. It's
okay. I like it. It sounds like an important person.
Yeah, like J.J. Abrams.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to make that connection.
Sure. Okay.
But I said my real last name on stage the other night. I was like, my name's Isaac. Everybody, see you later. And I was like,
they're like, what?
Wait a minute, that's not my name. And they were like, what? And then I just started like I did well, but for that last like minute of me going, that's not my name. Like I just totally lost my. The host just came out and kind of like walked me off stage because I just had a meltdown.
Yeah, and we've all had those moments.
Yeah, that was my first meltdown.
That was your first one?
First, like, absolute. Why is that?
Well, I've been having meltdowns since I was like.
On stage?
Oh, I mean.
I melt down every afternoon.
On stage, it probably happened within the first month of comedy. I'm sure it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I blank when I try new bits.
Mm-hmm.
I get like the first sentence out, and then I'm like,
what did I write?
And I go to another joke.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Isaac Abrams Show, everybody. I'm your host, Isaac Abrams. Today's very special guest, writer, producer, actor, comedian, and philanthropist, Nicole Becannon.
Was that whole thing that we just did not part of the intro? Hi, I'm Nicole Becannon.
Hi. Her Instagram is forever down below her face, probably blocking her feet. Perfect. Oh, now we can tag Wiki Feet. Give them a little show there.
OnlyFans.
Yep. Only feet.
Although I don't know if it works if you have your shoes on.
There's something for everybody.
I think that's a different thing. That's a shoe guy.
Yeah.
There's feet guy and shoe guys.
What did we talk about on this episode that we can recap here at the beginning to make people want to watch the whole thing?
Oh, let's see. I mean, I guess from the end, back. I'm going. We talked about strippers.
Strippers. We're stripping.
Talk about strippers. We talked about a little bit about dating.
Dating.
We talked about food a lot. I
Yep,
feel
a lot of food. Very hungry.
We talked about banana flavored stuff.
That's right.
Smoking.
Smoking banana flavored strippers.
Yeah.
Yes.
That sounds like my ideal day.
Oh, mine too.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here.
Okay.
Let's go smoke some banana flavored strippers.
All right. And it was a lot of fun. Also, it gave me also an excuse to talk to people. I isolate a lot, and I don't see my friends as much as I want to. And we're all kind of out doing our own thing. So then comedians really get together when it's to make content.
Right.
And, so it was just an excuse to catch up with people I wanted to catch up
Hey,
with.
do you want to get a coffee? No. Hey, I'm shooting some content. Oh, what time?
Yeah. Hey, there'll be a microphone in front of you and you'll get a clip out of it.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought the carrot for people coming on that I didn't know would be that I would give them like a headshot or shoot some photography of them.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out no one cares about that. They just find out I clipped this show and they're like, oh yeah, I'll be there. It's like,
Yeah. Well, it what's funny is when I first started doing comedy, I don't think it was like this, but it's turned into there's a photographer at every show now.
Mm-hmm.
I have to show up to every show prepared to have my picture taken.
Yeah.
Whereas before it wasn't like that. And the first time it happened, I was like, oh fuck, I look like shit. And I have this great photographer ready to take my photo and I look like absolute garbage.
Yeah.
So now I just have to go ready for a photo shoot.
Yeah. I shoot at the Laugh Factory and the Improv.
Yeah.
Which is why a lot of comedians from the store aren't they don't recognize me because I want to keep the store just for comedy.
Yeah.
I've never wanted to do photography there. I helped Jeremiah Watkins shoot Stand Up on the Spot one time, but I didn't do any actual photography. Plus Van's very good.
Van's awesome.
He's the best.
They used to have Troy,
Yeah.
who is a very good friend of mine. He's taken
Troy.
photos of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun time. I like it, and they are also teaching me. As comics, we don't necessarily know how to pose or be,
Yeah.
but they're teaching me.
Well, there's also what a lot of comedians don't know is that there's a small window to shoot in because you want to shoot on the laugh.
Right.
So no one hears you. Well, you can put your camera on silent mode, but there's a couple of settings that don't make the pictures as good as the loud click.
Yeah.
So, and you want, you don't want a comedian like Sebastian is a great example.
Yeah.
He does a lot of angry or aggressive comedy, right?
Uh-huh.
But you want to catch him when he's breaking just a little bit so that you photograph him with a little smirk on his face.
Also, there's with the photographing on the laugh, the other thing is some people who I notice aren't as experienced in photographing comedy, they will take a picture when the audience is not laughing, and then that's just in the picture.
Right, the audience is
it's
it's on the setup.
No comedian wants a picture that looks like they're bombing.
Right.
And I've had pictures. It's so funny. A friend of mine sent me a bunch of pictures the other day of me on stage, and I was like, I know I was bombing this, but it looks like I'm killing. And that's how you know you got a good photo. They really. There was 7 pictures. All of them, everyone was smiling or laughing, and maybe I just wasn't bombing as hard as I thought I was.
Yeah.
Or maybe sometimes you get a polite crowd that just doesn't laugh very loud, but they're enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
Or they're stifling their laughter.
Yeah. Or they're high, so they laugh with their shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I hate that. Some people are very they're trying to cover their mouth or be turn around. I'm like, no, you're in a comedy club. You can let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Yeah. But visually, if someone's going like this, you can tell that they're trying to laugh. Yeah. I've seen a lot of most of my comedy experience before I got on stage was from photographing comedians, and a ton of them would get off stage and be like, "Oh, I just ate so much shit," but I would be in the back and listening to people laugh, and I'm like, "Dude, everyone was laughing the whole time."
Yeah.
So I don't think a lot of times, and just now from being on stage more recently a lot, I don't think you can hear all the laughs.
Yeah, it also depends on the room. Sometimes there's a bigger room, or especially those outdoor shows where the laughs just kind of dissipate into the air.
Yeah.
And so you just kind of have to tell yourself it's happening. I might not be able to hear it, but it's happening.
Well, I think the worst I loved it, but Jam in the Van. Did you ever perform at Jam in the Van?
I just did the other day. Yeah.
Oh, cool. But they used to have another location, like right when Pandy hit, where it was just completely outside.
I did do that one.
Yeah.
I did it with actually Jeff Ross and Craig Robinson. Used to just kind of like fuck around up there for like a couple hours outdoor, and they would bring me up sometimes and I would do it with them, and we would just be up there for like an hour and a half. And yeah, it was like outdoors. There would maybe be like 30 people just in lawn chairs. It was fun. Yeah.
Well, they would sell it in pairs, and then there'd be a cooler between the lawn chairs, and it had unlimited booze, but it also had free weed. So the first 3 comics, no matter what they say, would crush because everybody was super stoned.
Yeah.
And then for the other 7 or 8 comics, people would just be like,
yeah.
and like I could hear the comics in the green room going like, nobody's fucking laughing. This is my best stuff. I'm like, they're so high.
That's always been the thing for me with weed shows.
Yeah.
Is like, it's a weird crowd usually. And then the one time I tried to get stoned and go on stage, I like forgot all my jokes. I was like, I don't remember my jokes because I'm not like a frequent weed smoker. So I was just like fucked up. And then I got booked at this dispensary and I was like, oh, weed show. And I like wasn't excited to do it. And then they had like a bar, and I went over to the bar, and I thought it was just like a regular bar, like an alcohol bar. And I ordered a drink, and I was like drinking the drink, and I was like, why do I feel so weird? Like, am I drunk after one drink? Like, I felt so weird. And then I went on stage, and honestly, it was a great audience. I crushed because I was like, I was just so silly. Like, I was like not myself. And I was like, I think on stage I was like, why do I feel so weird?
Yeah.
And then like I got off and I saw my friend Felicia, and she was like, oh, I want a weed drink. And I was like, oh, is that what this is? I had no idea. That's how dumb I am when it comes to weed. I had no idea that there were like weed drinks.
And if the drinks are anything like the gummies, it's like you could take one gummy one day and be like, oh, that was nice, and then take the same gummy out of the same package the next day and be like, I don't know what planet I'm on.
Yeah.
So like if they don't regulate it in beer, like you could have one beer and that could be like 25 milligrams of THC, and all of a sudden you like can't drive home.
There are some sponsors of certain comedy shows, and there was one at the Comedy Store that I went backstage and I saw some like weed drinks, and I grabbed one, and thank God I looked at it before because I think someone was like, are you sure you want that one? I looked at it, was 100 grams for a drink.
Wow.
It was like a root beer.
Yeah.
And it was 100. I was like, I would have died.
Yeah, I would have at least gone to the hospital.
If I have 25 grams, I am on the floor.
Yeah. I take like the 10s and I'll cut a little sliver off. I try and get one.
Even 10s are like,
that's a lot.
That's a lot.
And it's processed by your liver. It's not processed by your lungs.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I can't really smoke weed very well. Like one hit and I'm just like drooling on myself.
Yeah. I'm not good at inhaling, so smoking doesn't really do much for me.
Yeah.
I remember like I was caught like red-handed one time where I was like smoking weed because I would just like take it if someone would pass it to me. And someone was just like, are you even inhaling? And I was like, yeah. No, it was so embarrassing.
Well, you see it in the movies all the time with actors that don't smoke.
Yeah.
It's like smoking a cigar, kind of.
Yeah.
Inhale it.
That's really the only thing that I can smoke properly because that's what I do. I feel I can't inhale it. My body just won't do it. It rejects it.
I smoked for so long that I want to inhale cigars.
Cigarettes? You
I
smoke cigarettes?
smoked cigarettes for 25 years.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. It looks so cool.
It did when I started. Now it's sad.
Yeah.
Because no one smokes anymore. Everybody vapes, so they don't even go outside.
That's true.
So you're the one guy in the corner just like...
I always ended up dating men who smoked because there was something about it that attracted me. I don't know why. Like, no one in my family ever smoked except for my grandpa. And I didn't really know him that well. So, like, I don't know why I was always just attracted to that. Like, ooh, who's that guy in the corner fucking killing himself? Like, slowly killing himself.
And the smell didn't gross you out?
No. You know what's funny is, like, my, like, first real, like, boyfriend, the guy I lost my virginity to, which I was, like, 22. It sounds like I was a lot younger, but I was 22.
Yeah, virginity does sound young.
Yeah, no. I lost my virginity when I started doing comedy. How crazy is that?
Yeah.
I did my first joke on stage before I had sex.
All right.
But
and then you got a groupie from?
Yeah, no, it's unfortunately another comedian. But yeah, he smoked, and then so like after that, I guess he's like the first person that I fell in love with or whatever. So I guess after that, like that smell just became comforting to me.
Yeah.
And so after we broke up, at one point I like started trying to smoke cigarettes, and he was like, "What are you doing?" It was so embarrassing. I was so embarrassing at 23. Yeah, no, I remember showing up at the Comedy Store. I think I literally was like wearing a leather jacket, like Sandy from
"Watch
Grease.
this."
Yeah. Like, tell me about it, stud.
Yeah. I can smoke too.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Yeah. And I started out because he smoked Marlboro. I can never say this right. Marlboro Reds.
Yeah.
And apparently that's like one of the more intense ones. And I just started out right away with those.
Cowboy killers is what they call them. Yeah. When in fact all cigarettes would kill a cowboy if that cowboy smoked enough cigarettes. But
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny. It's like if you took a cigarette, if you just like the smell, you just took a cigarette and put it on your incense burner.
Yeah. I was such a poser. I was outside the Improv one time just trying. I couldn't even light it. Like the wind kept blowing it out, and my friend Katrina was just like, "What are you doing? You look like an old lady, just like not able to light."
Just out in front of you, not even like pulling on it.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know how to do this.
It should come with instructions for like young people.
Yeah, it is. If I was like 14, that'd be cute. I mean, it wouldn't be cute. It's not cute for a 14-year, but like it'd be cute that I didn't know how to do it. But like I was 23 and it was pretty embarrassing for me that I was doing that. It was also just because when I started doing comedy, like around that time, now everyone has quit and it's more vaping and stuff. But like when I first started, I feel like everyone was smoking cigarettes like out on the patio and stuff. Yeah. And it's kind of like when everyone pulls out their phone and like you just feel like, well, now I have to pull out my phone or I look like a loser. Yeah. Like who am I talking to, you know? Right. And so like I just felt like I needed something in my hand.
Yeah. And I think that's what vaping is giving everyone. That's how I quit smoking, was vaping.
Do you still vape?
It's hard to find vapes now.
Really?
Yeah, they banned flavored tobacco and vapes in California January 1st of this year.
Oh,
so I have to buy my vapes on the road.
Yeah.
So if we're not, or you can still order them to your house, but they won't show up for 48 hours.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I don't know what I'm doing. Like I have no idea what I'm doing on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to jury duty.
Gross.
So if I'm at jury duty when my vapes show up, they just take them back to the warehouse.
Oh.
So, I mean, it's a rough life, right? You can't schedule 2 days in advance to get your vapes, but it was just so much better when you just go to the store.
Yeah, I've had vapes before, and for some reason only I like banana flavored vape. That's like all I would do is just like if they had banana vapes, I'm in.
Banana vapes for life.
I like banana flavored anything. I'm not even that big of a fan of bananas themselves.
Right.
But banana flavored stuff.
Dude, I love banana flavored stuff.
It's so good.
And actual bananas.
Bananas are okay. Banana flavored stuff though, for some reason is like top notch.
Some people that like banana don't like banana runts though. Do you know what a banana?
I love banana runts.
Yeah.
Okay, so I used to just pick out banana runts, and then now there's a place over at Universal City Walk.
The candy shop.
And they have just the banana runts. Dude. And I have filled bags of it and just had.
Shit is like crack, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I could snort it, I mean, I guess you could technically snort it, but if you could, I would probably snort that.
I actually think maybe about a week ago when I was a little hormonal, I got those. I ate a lot and then I cried because I was like, I ate too many banana runts and now I'm fat.
Did you eat all of them?
I ate all of them.
Were you sad because you were out?
I can't stop.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't stop. Well, no, I was sad that I ate all of them.
You have to like time release, lock them away. It's like, these are for tomorrow. Put them in the safe.
I will eat everything in sight and then cry because I just ate everything in sight. I'm like, what did I just do? Like I just killed someone and I'm looking over the carnage. Like,
no. I do that with Doritos.
Yeah.
Like I get a whole bag, like a family bag, and I'm like, this is just for snack.
Yeah.
And then that afternoon, I'm like, where's
There's something so evil about whatever it is they do to that shit.
It's impossible to stop. If there's an open bag of Doritos in the house. Yeah. For me, I just want to buy the dust and put it on other stuff. Yeah. Like the Doritos tacos they have at Taco Bell.
Yeah. Taco Bell is my kryptonite.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll order it at fucking 3 a.m. So happy. It makes me so happy.
Is that because the competition at 3 a.m. is either that or Jack in the Box?
Possibly, but also I don't know. There's something about it that just hits at that time. I don't know if there were other things open, if I would even want anything else.
What's your go-to? Okay, do you have a different Taco Bell order in the middle of the night than you do in the middle of the day?
No, it's always what's the one that's the crunchy inside the soft shell?
Crunchy inside? Oh, like the chalupa? No, that's soft bread. The double decker.
No, it's okay. So it's like a taco, but it's the crunchy shell inside. It's a cheesy gordita crunch. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I'll get like 3 of those.
Nice.
I'll get like 3 of those. Sometimes nachos Bel Grande if I'm really like going crazy. Always cinnamon twists.
Always. Okay.
Got to get the cinnamon twist.
Can't not get the cinnamon
twist. I think it's
twist.
like a nostalgia thing. I loved them when I was a kid.
Yeah, I think they were made different in the 80s and 90s.
Probably. There was something, I remember something a little more special about them.
They weren't as hard. Like they'll cut your mouth now.
Yeah.
But back in my time, they were like more like Cheetos. Like they were like cinnamon flavored Cheetos.
Yeah,
they would just dissolve in your mouth. I'm getting very hungry now.
I feel like I watched a couple of clips from this podcast. I feel like it's very food involved. I feel like you've got food on your mind a lot.
If I'm hungry, the whole thing, fuck comedy. Like it's like, tell me more about steaks.
I get it. I think about it constantly also.
I ate right before I came here.
Yeah, what'd you eat?
I had a salad. So I'm
Ew,
fucking starving.
That's why. That's why you're like, now I'm thinking about everything but salad.
If I have anything but a salad for lunch, I think about Neil Brennan. Because he's only had salads for lunch for 30 years.
Oh, that's why he looks like that.
Yeah, he's very skinny.
Yeah,
he'll eat whatever he wants.
Skinny and sad. I think it's probably sad.
Does the sadness come from the salad?
I think so. I think it does.
Neil, we figured it out, dude. We got it. You need a hamburger for lunch.
It's true. Sad, hot people, it's just salads.
Do you think Neil's hot? See, I thought I lulled you into the food conversation, and now it's the hard hitting 2020 questions. Do you think Neil Brennan is attractive?
This is the gotcha moment.
Yeah.
You know, my type is kind of just like skinny, sad dudes. Yeah.
Well, you're in the right town.
With glasses. I like glasses.
Oh, you got the glasses modifier.
I like glasses. Yeah.
I think glasses go pretty well with skinny dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to get readers now. They call them 44s because I just turned 44 last week. And I'm holding my phone way out here.
They call them 44s because everyone has to get them when they're 44.
Yeah. Well, I should have gotten them 2 years ago, but I'm like, I'm almost 44. I can wait.
Yeah.
But now it's time. I'm going to have to be that guy that's like,
I have glasses and I don't wear them as much as I should. I wear them when I'm driving at night, and that's pretty much it.
That's really important.
Yeah, or if I'm like working on a laptop or something, because then if I don't, my eyes will get tired and I get a headache.
Speaking of working, strike's over.
Yep.
Were you on a show? Are you on a show?
Well, I just got an email to work on some pilot presentation.
Sick.
For Paramount. So might be working on that soon. It's non-scripted, so there will be no SAG,
talent, which is fine
because they're still on strike.
Well, they did a little mini agreement over this weekend.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Good.
Anything that was in production when the strike started just got their green light.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, which is fucking everybody. So what are we talking about? And then 2 weeks ago, George Clooney was like, "I'll give you $50 million.
Yeah.
Spread it around. Like we just want to go back to work."
Perfect.
So I hope
gotta love George Clooney.
Yeah.
You know what? I was just thinking about George Clooney because I just saw the Holdovers. It's a movie that was Alexander Payne.
Okay. Is it new?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. It's out in theaters right now. It's a good movie. And I love Alexander Payne. I think he also did The Descendants.
Okay.
Which was a movie from like 10 years ago.
Where he had a daughter from the Hunger Games, and they lived in Hawaii.
Yes.
And then they had a pool. That's all I remember from that whole movie.
Yeah, and I remember loving it. And I went and saw The Holdovers with Chris Walsh and his girlfriend, and he was telling me that he saw The Descendants, and it was like a Q&A, and some lady asked some like weird question, and George Clooney called her batshit. And,
Wow.
but like in a funny way. Like apparently he's very down to earth, very cool. And I'm like, of course he is. He's
What?
Clooney.
Yeah, he's perfect.
Yeah, he is perfect.
Yeah.
I hope to one
Speaking
day
of-
achieve perfection.
Yeah. Speaking of perfect, we lost Matthew Perry this week.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see that last email that he sent?
No. Is it crazy?
It's not. It's just like, if I die.
Oh, so he
Like
like
3
knew.
days before he died. It's
Wow.
like, if I die, this is how I want people to remember me. And it was like, I know you're all going to talk about Friends, but like, if you could help somebody and like help them through sobriety or whatever, like that's what I want when I die.
Wow.
Yeah, he fell asleep. Like he was on painkillers. He fell asleep in his hot tub and drowned.
Oh, I thought he had a heart attack and fell into his hot tub and drowned.
It could be one of the two. He was getting in the hot tub a lot
Yeah.
because his last Instagram post was him in the hot tub.
That's so strange. I wonder if all of us kind of have a feeling when we're about to die.
You know, I have been thinking about that a lot because I'm at the age where you're supposed to have your midlife crisis.
Yeah.
But Pandy hit right at the same time. So I was like, I don't know which crisis I'm dealing with.
Sure.
Like, I'm just sad. So I don't know if I'm sad because the whole world's going to die or not die or what's going to happen or if I'm just turning 40. But no, I think about that all the time because I have super high blood pressure. So I'm like, oh, is it now? Is it going to,
Yeah.
like sometimes I feel my heart beating real fast.
Right.
I'm like, oh, am I going to die in Tulsa?
Well, that's sometimes I think I should have had my midlife crisis at like 23 because I think my life might be at like 46 years long.
Yeah.
And yet, you know what's funny is I think people have asked me like, how do you think you're going to die? I don't know why my friends ask me this question. We're all morbid people, I guess. But I 100% for some reason I just feel car accident.
Well,
I'm feeling a car accident.
the odds are ever in your favor.
Well, one, I'm a terrible driver.
Okay, that helps.
I'm a terrible driver. I'm a very distracted driver. And two, like it's just an anxiety that I have all the time. When sometimes I'll be driving down the freeway and I can't believe all of us don't have this moment sometimes where you're just like, holy fuck, I am going 70 miles an hour.
And so are these, and I don't know these other people.
I don't know these people.
Yeah.
It's one mistake. It's
Right.
one little oops
Right.
from any one of us.
Have you ever seen a big accident happen in front of you with enough time to slow down? Like cars
Yes.
flipping around and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, like in the movies?
And you have this moment that you're just like, that could have been me if this was like 5 seconds later.
Yeah. Oh my God. It was like, I was coming home from one of the clubs one time when I still lived in the Valley, and you know how this is super inside traffic for if you don't live in LA, but you know, you're going up the 101, but the 170 splits off.
Yeah.
So I stay on the 170 side. And this car is like looking at me for some reason or looking somewhere else. And there's a tractor trailer on the side of the road and it just dead stops right into the back of it, like shaves the top of the car off. I'm like, that guy's not around anymore.
Yeah.
That's just weird to see this got real morbid.
Well,
But where I was going with all of that was if you could pick a way to die. I know that I
Yeah.
don't want to drown because that seems like it
Sure.
would be.
I've actually heard it's very peaceful. I don't know how
Yeah.
people know that. I guess people who drown and then survived or whatever, like they almost drowned and then survived. I've
Yeah.
heard there's like this moment of just like acceptance and peace, and it's very quiet and whatever. But I'm sure the moments leading up to the moment that's peaceful is panic.
Well, I think people say that it's because you can't hear underwater.
Yeah.
Like, I think the first acceptance, like when you inhale that first, you're like, oh, I'm really trying to hold my breath. And then you inhale all that water.
Yeah.
That's got to be the worst.
Yeah. Well, I think when you first do, but then I think
Yeah.
once you're like,
Once it's full and you
oh,
can't do it.
I'm dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I used to think drowning was kind of my worst fear too, but then I was like, I think I'd rather drown than be like burned.
100%.
Yeah.
I would rather drown than be burned alive.
If I could choose, obviously it would be just to die in my sleep. I think like if I get to like 90, I'm just going to do heroin.
Oh, I've always said that if I make it to a certain age, I don't know, 85, I'm going to have a death party.
Yeah.
Like on a high-rise penthouse, probably in Vegas somewhere. I'm going to have all my friends there. I'm going to give my one last speech or set, try and make some jokes. And then be like, okay, guys, we'll see you later. And just turn around and jump off the balcony in front of all
But
of
you
my
can't
friends.
tell everybody it's a death party.
No,
because then there'll be like a thing around it where people know that you're about to die and it's going to be sad. You just got to be like, I'm having a party. And then you just jump off the building.
It's a birthday. I want to do it on my birthday.
Yeah.
So my tombstone is clean. So it just says October 20th to October 20th.
Oh,
Year to
okay.
year.
Do you have OCD? Oh.
Not yet.
It's a weird thing to think about. Just
as I'm like rubbing
I
the
just
table.
want nice even numbers on my tombstone.
I just think it would be cool to live in like a perfect number of years.
Is your birthday October 20th?
It is.
Wow, so it just happened.
It did.
And also, those are clean numbers, 10, 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10, 20, 20, 10 was my spirit animal or whatever. You know, you have a golden birthday, like you turn 20 on your 20th.
Yeah.
Or what day is your birthday?
April 9th.
So you had your golden birthday when you were 9. You turned 9 on the 9th.
Yes.
So I turned 20 a million years ago.
Okay.
But in 2010, I had 10, 20, 2010. And I had a
Wow.
magical year.
I would have 4-9. I don't know how that would make that work.
4949.
4-9, 40. I'd have to be. Okay.
Are you going to be 49 on 4949?
I wish. Wait, no. What year is it?
I'll bleep it out. What year were you born?
1993.
93.
I'm all right with people knowing. I'm 30.
Okay.
I'm a 30-year-old.
I was going to say 24.
Thank you.
Wait, so if you're born in 93, you're 24? Yeah, because math.
Yeah, I'm 30 years old, which is crazy. I don't feel I know everyone says it, but like in my mind, I'm 20. I am 24 in my mind.
Yeah.
Actually, I think like I was talking about this with someone the other day. A lot of us feel whatever age we were when we started comedy. Like to me, I am still 22.
Yeah.
Because that's when I started comedy, and then I feel like I've just stayed that age.
Yeah.
Like I feel like comedy kind of has stunted my aging.
I don't feel any older. I'm 44 now. I don't feel any older than the day I turned 17 and got like my first car.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like my first like sense of freedom. Everything still feels like an adventure. Every time I get on a plane to go do a show somewhere, I'm like, we're going on a plane.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I've never gotten excited about anything.
Ever.
I'm not an excitable person.
Okay.
I hate that. I'm trying to like, and I try to fake it. You know, like fake it till you make it. I'm like, maybe if I like pretend to be excited about stuff, I'll like actually get excited.
Do roller coasters excite you? Do movies excite you? Does anything like getting a new job, like killing on stage, does anything? Do you have anything that excites you?
Sometimes killing on stage, but not as much anymore.
Like when one of your comedic heroes says like that was awesome, that's
cool.
Needle.
That excites me. What'll happen is I'll get excited for about 10 minutes and then that's that.
Yeah.
You know, it sucks. I wish I have this friend who he just like is juiced on everything, like everything. He's like, hell yeah. Like he's just so juiced.
Are we talking about Brian Vokey again?
No. No, he's just like so excited all the time. And I wish I could be like that. That seems so fun. But also like, it's kind of embarrassing. Like you need to chill. We're in public.
Right.
Like, can you be a little more cool?
We're just going to Ralph's. We're going to Ralph's. Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't get that excited.
Okay. Calm down.
But I still like inwardly, I try and play it cool outside, but inwardly I'm like, yeah, this is awesome.
You know, I do get excited whenever I am paid to travel somewhere.
Yeah.
To me, that is cool.
Mm-hmm.
I do enjoy that. Hotels, I like being put up in a nice hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me feel pretty great.
I mean, you can't beat it. It's like a nice home for a night.
Yeah. There's something about both airports and hotel rooms that I get pretty excited about.
I could leave airports, even Burbank. I'm not a fan because flying is. I don't know if this is a premise that I'm going to take to the stage or not, but I've been telling this to a bunch of people and they agree. Flying in an airplane is the only place where you take half the people do this 2 to 3 times a week, and the other half have never been on a fucking airplane before.
Right.
And you're like, you guys all need to sit down now together.
Yeah.
Or with getting off the plane, people standing up. It's like, dude, like people that stand up in the back of the plane try and walk forward.
Yeah.
And they forget their bag and then they have to like go against, I don't know.
Yeah.
They always say that like when you do, this is my second year on the road, so this is all my jokes are about travel, and they say that like your second year on the road, you're always like, hey, what's the deal with hotel? Or you know what I mean? Like
because that's your whole life. You're just on planes and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people in planes, they're the worst.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. There's still something exciting about getting on an airplane.
I feel superior to everyone. That's why I always get a window seat because I'm like, haha, I'm flying again, bitches.
Yeah.
And you're at your regular job.
Although I have gotten kind of bougie, I can't fly less than Comfort Plus.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
My headliner decides where and what we fly on.
Yeah. Well, I have had that too, where I've featured for someone and they've put me on Spirit. And I'm like, I'm good to know what you think of me. That's great.
Right. There's another airline parallel to Spirit that's red, yellow, and blue that we fly on currently. But when I was doing other stuff, I would put myself on Delta.
I love Delta. That's,
the lounge alone.
Yeah. That's what I have my my credit card, the miles, I have it for Delta. I get those miles, those points.
Yeah. Are you an LAX or a Burbank flyer?
Well, if I can, Burbank.
Yeah.
You know, if it's an option, Burbank for sure. LAX is a nightmare.
It's going to be better soon.
You think so?
Well, they have the new tram, so you're not going to be able to pull into the Horseshoe anymore. You're going to have to go like a mile away and get on a little shuttle.
Oh, and that's better?
Well, for traffic.
I guess. Yeah, that's true. It is always, I do always feel bad asking anyone to drop me off or pick me up from LAX.
I live 1.3 miles from LAX.
Oh, really?
And it's more expensive. It's by almost 3 times to take an Uber there and back.
Really?
Than it was when I lived in Burbank. So it's more than the cost of the flight.
Yeah.
So, plus my headliner likes to fly out of Burbank, so it's always drive up to Burbank, leave the car at Burbank for 5 days. Come on.
Sure. Yeah.
Are you headlining?
No. I mean, I have headlined like a casino in Palm Springs.
Fuck yeah, dude. We just did Palm Springs this weekend. It wasn't a casino, but yeah.
Yeah. You know, I have headlined, but I'm not a ticket seller. I'm not a big seller yet.
You just need a big scandal.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Let's think of one. What should I do?
Well, sex tapes are played out.
They are played out.
So you need.
I feel like that would make me less famous. I feel like people would be like, "Ew, I never want to see this person again."
It just gets you all the wrong attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like every comic's already made their stand on Israel and Palestine, so that's not going to get you famous.
Yeah, I want to stay away from that, I think.
Politics will end up making you a political comic, so if you don't want to do that.
I don't want to be a political. In fact, I went to UCLA and studied political science. That's what I thought I was going to do with my whole life, and then it made me so depressed that I was like, fuck this, I'm going to tell dick jokes. Wow. So I
no political jokes at all.
I have one that is basically about why I'm not political at all. And it's just like, I'm afraid I'll say something and like some conservative's going to be like, shut up, bitch. And I'm going to be like, no, I can say whatever I want. I am woman. Hear me roar. And then some liberal's going to be like, shut up, white bitch. I'm like, okay, that's fair. No more opinions for me. I'm done.
Yeah, or do you think if you did start writing political jokes, they would be over everybody's head because you understand the system so much better?
Possibly. And also, for me, comedy, like the reason I got into comedy when I was at UCLA was because it was the thing that took me away from all that. Like it took my mind off of everything. And so for me, that's what comedy should be. And that's what I want to do for other people. Is I want it to be an escape. Mm-hmm. I understand that some people are like, oh, I use my comedy as a platform to make people understand certain things or like, to see things in another way. And I'm like, nope, I just want people to completely forget that all that shit exists. Yeah. And just laugh about silly boob jokes. I just want to be silly and like, make people kind of fucking forget about all that. So I don't necessarily get political at all. So political scandal might not be the best for me. I don't know.
You might have to date an NFL player like Taylor Swift's doing.
That would be nice.
Yeah, it's really moving her.
Any NFL players out there if you're looking to...
This is the number one NFL podcast. We don't even talk about football. It's just like the number one.
You just for some reason your biggest demographic is NFL players. Yeah. We really like that they talk about burgers a lot.
I used to make I used to have a segment that I would clip out called In and Out or Five Guys.
Really?
Yeah. And it just got to be like, what are we doing? That was the first season.
I mean, I like it.
Yeah.
I had a podcast a long time ago. I already told you about it with Jesse Johnson called Screw Ups. And for some reason, every episode we started asking people if they had ever shit their pants.
Oh, interesting.
Because I feel like most people have a shit your pants story.
I have one that I can think of.
Yeah? What is it?
I don't think I've told it on this show. Maybe I have.
Well, here you go.
In North Carolina, I think it was probably 24, 23. I went to play disc golf which is like golf with frisbees.
Sure.
And we were on the 10th hole, and I knew
there's a hole.
There's like 18 holes of golf, right? So there's 18 holes in disc golf.
Yeah, but is there an actual hole? Like you're trying to get a
No.
frisbee into a hole? Oh, okay.
Yeah, they call it a hole, but it's a post and it's got a basket with chains.
Sure. Okay, that makes sense.
But it's not a hole in the ground.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. If you've never played disc golf, I can understand why that would be really hard. But we're throwing it in the ground.
Yeah.
I knew before I left the house that I was like, I should have gone before I left.
Yeah.
So we get to the 10th hole, and I'm like, it's pretty far away from the bathroom at the park.
Mm-hmm.
So I try and make it there, and I don't make it there. So instead, I was playing with a buddy. Instead of going back and telling him that I shit my
your
pants,
Yeah.
I just took my shirt off and put it down in the car, and I drove home in shitty pants. And then threw my pants away when I got home. I should have done that at the park.
Well, the shirt was just an extra layer. The pants were not enough protection. It was a lot of shit.
I just remember thinking it was a really good idea to add a layer of protection. I didn't want to shit my car.
Sure.
So I'd already shit my pants.
Yeah.
And I think it might have been shorts.
Yeah.
So the sitting on which could have.
So this was just a situation where you just held it in too long.
Yeah.
That's actually crazy as an adult.
Yeah. But it wasn't. It was like a day after like drinking, so it wasn't going to be a solid movement.
It usually involves drinking in some capacity.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a fart that you trusted too hard,
Yeah, I'm starting to get to the age where I trust more and more farts. And
Yeah.
I'm not.
I trust him way too hard. So
yeah,
I've had some incidents. And that's why, I always ask the question, because I think everyone has at least one shit your pants story and they need to not feel alone about it.
That's right. That'd be such a funny infomercial. It's like, do you or someone you love shit your pants? Don't feel alone.
Yeah.
You're not alone. Everyone shits their pants.
And then it has one of those, those infomercials where like the dumbest person is like, do you not know how to fucking pour a drink right? And it's just like they're doing the stupid. It's like, who does that? But it's just someone shitting their pants.
You see one guy like happy on a toilet. You see some guy at a park like, oh no.
Yeah, the side by side.
Yeah. Pete Holmes has a story about in his new special. I don't want to ruin it for everybody, but holding his baby.
I just started watching that today.
Oh, then I won't tell. It's so good.
Well, now you got it.
Well, he'll tell it to you when you finish watching it later.
Oh, okay.
Watch Pete Holmes.
Well, speaking of Pete Holmes, that's why I love, like, when I was saying I used comedy as like an escape from like depression and political science and all of that. I used to love his special Faces and Sounds. I would watch it all the time because it's just about being silly and joy. And I loved that special so much.
Yeah, I watched it. Well, I listened to it with my headliner coming home from Palm Springs because he was like trying to teach me this specific lesson of something that I'm fucking up in my set.
I like how you call him your headliner. It's like you guys are in a little relationship. It's cute.
I don't like to use. Well, my headliner last year thought that everybody was clout chasing, so I got in the habit of just calling the person that I'm on tour with my headliner.
Oh, he didn't want you to name drop him?
No.
Interesting.
I would definitely tell you who it is and everybody knows.
Okay.
You can just scroll through my Instagram and go to a year ago and know who I was on tour with last year.
Yeah.
But I don't want him to feel like I'm clout chasing, so I don't say his name on this show, and then it's a habit for this year.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't want my boss to think I'm clout chasing, which would be a whole lot easier if I was.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yo, I'm on tour with so-and-so. I mean, I put it on my stories, but I don't put it on the show.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's an old habit.
I feel like someone who takes you on the road with them like wants you to kind of get your own following from their following and all of that stuff.
But I got this opportunity by becoming his videographer, and then he gave me stage time.
I see. Okay.
So it's not like I earned it from comedy.
Sure. Okay.
You know what I mean? So I'm not funny enough to have the spot that I have. But I'm really good at camera stuff.
So he's like, just don't mention my name.
Right. So
I don't want people to know that I know you.
I don't want to sell less tickets. I don't want people to be like, wait a minute. That guy's going to be there? Fuck it. We're not going to go see him.
Yeah.
So I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, yeah. We were listening to Pete Holmes on the way back. And I actually learned a lot on this special. Because he started getting into a formula of like premise, analogy, act out. Further premise, another analogy. Another
on
act
this
out.
last one?
Yeah.
He explained the
No.
format? Oh, you just saw the format
It just
happening.
kind of unlocked, and I was like, oh, this is how Pete goes deeper into a subject. Because I'll just do a premise and then a punch, maybe a tag or two.
Yeah.
But he'll just fucking soak it like a sponge and get like every angle out of it.
Yeah. Well, and I've noticed like we were talking about this earlier. I don't know if the mics were on. I don't think they were. Like finding what makes you funny and stuff like that. And I have noticed that every comedian that I love has their own little tricks and has their own little like things that they do and topics that they talk about like every special.
Yeah.
And you see it in all of them. Segura, Louis C.K., Pete, like they all have little things. I'm like, oh, he did that thing again, like through every special. And it's not like a thing like, oh, he's doing that thing again. It's like, oh, like this is a part of their character and their like thing that they have these little like tricks that they do and little quirks that they have in the middle of their bits where and I think that's how you find your audience, because your audience wants to hear. It's like Bert telling the Machine story. Like we've all heard the Machine hundreds of times. But if you bought a ticket to a Bert show, you'd be like, tell the fucking Machine, bro, that's what I paid my money for. And P. Holmes will have in the like in Faces and Sounds in this, but he has things where he's like, these are the little places I've found joy in my life. Like it doesn't even have to be like it's just like this person said something and I've been laughing about it for 6 months. And then you're in on his joke. You're in, and that's what I like. I think like podcast, you can do that too. You're almost letting people in on your inside jokes, and then we're all in on it together, you know? Right. Which people love, because, you know, when I was like in middle school, high school, I was always left out of the inside jokes. You know, I was the kid that everyone was laughing, and then I'd walk up and be like, what are you talking about, guys? And they're just like, don't worry about it.
It was definitely you.
But
you weren't left out. They were just talking about you.
So then I became the comedian. So I'm like, everything's my joke now, and I get to let you in on it.
Right. Yeah.
But I let everyone in.
Yeah.
You know, comedians, we let everyone in on our jokes.
I haven't gotten that far yet.
I'm letting people into your joke.
Yeah. I go, this one's for me. And I just.
Yeah, you were talking about that earlier. You make yourself laugh. Because
I'm a storyteller as far as opposed to like set up punch.
Sure.
So not all of my stories have like big old crash landing endings. It's like some of them are just like the end.
Yeah.
So working on it.
Endings,
like that story I just told.
Endings
also
are hard.
The end. Yeah.
Endings are hard.
You know what? I'm anti-ending.
Finishing a joke is hard. Also, starting in the middle is hard.
Yeah.
Stories.
Remembering them in the same order every night.
I'm not good at stories.
Yeah.
You know, like I feel like I don't want to be sexist against myself, but women, I've noted, we're not very good at telling stories, and I don't know why. We get to start. We want to go into details that aren't necessarily relevant, I think.
Same.
And that is a problem.
Right.
With being when you're a storyteller, you're like, I don't get to the part that's good or the part that's funny. And
right.
I'm like, no, wait. Okay, so in order to like tell you this part, I have to go back 10 years and tell you that. And they're like, no, you don't. You don't have to do that.
I am so guilty of that, because I want you to know that the car that I arrived at before the story started was green and it had red seats.
Yeah.
And it's parked in the driveway, not on the street.
Yeah.
And none of that matters. Story starts when I ring the doorbell. But I'll pull up in that green car, and then you're right, I go back.
So you're also like the wife coming home and telling her work story. Like, Becky from let me tell you, she was hired. Like, no, stop it.
And then there's Karen, and Karen and Becky don't like each other, and like that has nothing to do with the story. I'm so guilty of that. Because I think, I think everybody is a little bit when they first start. I'm super new. I'm only like 4 or 5 years in.
Okay.
So, and I've heard everybody's guilty of this, but like when you're trying to build out time, you just add superfluous words into your set, because you're like, that took a 30-second joke to a minute. Yeah. And now I'm learning about word economy and getting better at that. And I'm just like, okay, we're in Minnesota. Yeah. There's 2 guys. That's all you need to know. And now I'm going the other way. I'm like not giving people enough information. Well,
yeah, I'm in an in-between state where I'm kind of trying to learn to add more, because I am kind of, I wouldn't say I'm like set up punchline, but I am very insecure in silence. Oh. And so like I always it has to be like, okay, laugh. Like, so I'm not comfortable in silences. So like I don't necessarily take my time getting to certain things or like whatever. And that I am trying to learn.
Yeah.
How to kind of, because I think that pays off in a lot of instances, like having a longer silence and building up to something.
Yeah.
But my insecurity won't let me do it. I have to be like, I need a laugh now. I need a laugh now. I need a laugh now.
I'm not a laughs per minute guy because I have so much setup and it's usually the payoff at the end of the story. So like if I can tell that like the story is getting too long and they have been silent and not laughing, not because they missed the punchline, but because they're listening to the story. Yeah. Like I'll like look at them sideways, or I'll make a face gesture, or I'll like get a laugh in the middle of setting it up to be like, all right, does everybody know where we're at? Like any questions? Like, you'll get that in a second. And then like,
sure,
I'll break the story and talk to them directly for a second and then get back into the story. And that's been working a little bit. Yeah.
I feel like that takes like a quiet confidence to be able to like do that and be like, don't worry, I'm getting to it. You know what I mean? Where I'm like I think it's this like, nobody wants to listen to me, so I have to get it all out. Like, you know, like I have all this insecurity that I'm like, I don't know. But I think now I'm getting to the point where I'm like, okay, now when I'm doing longer sets, I think I do like the laughs per minute thing at the beginning to get them to like, okay, now you trust me. You know I'm funny. Yeah. And you're going to listen to me longer. Right. You know what I mean? So then I kind of can get more into a longer setup or whatever.
That was kind of the first lifeboat that my headliner and his feature kind of threw me when I first started. They were like, okay, listen, you're always going to eat shit if you don't have like one thing that like talks about either your appearance or why they should listen to you. And they kind of like gave me some options. They were like, you need to lead off with this shit. Yeah. And then a few weeks later they were like, okay, you finally have a couple of jokes. Do the thing we told you to start with. Start with this joke, end with this joke. Put different shit in the middle every time now. I was like, oh. They're like, now you have a set. I was like, I have a set.
Wow, you really have some mentors.
I really do. I'm very, very lucky.
Yeah, I realized that kind of your biggest job is getting the audience to trust you. Yeah. Once you get them to trust you, you can kind of do whatever. Yeah. But like you got to go up there with like no nervous energy. Right. You got to go up there like
they can smell it.
Yeah, you got to go up there and give them the I got this kind of energy, or else they're like gonna be nervous for you. Right. Like they're gonna be, it's almost like a hostage situation at that point where they're like, please be funny so I can laugh at something or whatever. Right. And at that point it's not even like, they're not relaxing. Like, so like to me, like the first thing you do is you get them to relax, then you make them laugh, and then you can kind of do whatever you want because they're in it with you. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, it's the best. It's the best when you just get them, or they get you right away. They're like, haha.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love it when I feel like a lot of times I'll have a lot of women. I think probably a lot of women get this when they go on stage and they talk about themselves. Then they have a lot of women afterwards that are like, you're my spirit animal. Right. I get that a lot. You're my spirit animal.
Well, the people say that like their number one biggest fear before death is public speaking.
I've heard that.
So they look at us and they're like, I don't know how you do that. I'm like, you're a brain surgeon.
Yeah.
I can't. I mean, I would try it if I could sign a waiver that was like, if I kill this person.
You know what's funny is I'm such a pussy just about everything. Scary movies, roller coasters, like all those things you need. I am scared of all those things. Like really? I get scared so easily. I'm a very nervous person. I'm very socially anxious, like all those things. And like on stage, I don't really get that nervous unless there is someone that I know in the audience. Then I get nervous.
I hate that shit.
Yeah.
That happened like last week. We were at in Bakersfield, and right before the show starts, my headliner was like, "There's 2 new managers here that don't know that they're both here trying to sign me." And I'm like, "Okay." Yeah. And it was for a promoter that like only knows me as a photographer, and he just found out that I do comedy, and he was gonna watch. So there's like 3 people that I was thinking about during my set.
Don't tell me that.
Right. It's just like on Saturday night when Matthew Perry died. Someone told me 30 seconds before I was walking out on stage.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, I was like, dude, not seriously right now.
Yeah.
Like now I'm thinking about Matthew Perry.
Yeah, well, when I was just in Vegas, William, it was his first headlining weekend.
Oh, nice.
It was first headlining weekend, and the second night he gets a text from his dad like 30 minutes before the show that said, "Let's not tell William because we don't want him worrying about it during his show." Like his dad accidentally texted him.
Text his mom. But
yeah, I guess it was supposed to be like maybe for some kind of like group chat in their family, but he accidentally sent it to William, and William was like, "Okay, well now you have to tell me."
Right.
And then he found out that his grandpa died like right before the show.
Oh no.
And he was able to like be funny about it and get on stage and talk about it and whatever.
Right.
But it was like such a funny moment. That's like my worst fear is like whoever I'm talking about that I text it to them. It's never happened to me, but I'm afraid that one day it will.
I have definitely done that. Like if I have my texts on my computer, and I'm talking to 3 or 4 different people like while I'm editing something and I'm not thinking, and I'm like, no, fuck that dude. He already said no. Like Brian's out, he's an asshole.
Yeah. Like, I've definitely like when I've been texting 3 people at a time, texted the wrong person, but I've never done the talking shit on someone to them. That would suck.
Have you ever dated multiple people and sent the wrong like fluffiness to the wrong nickname to the wrong person?
I've never dated multiple people.
Okay.
I've hardly ever date one person.
Me neither.
You know what's funny is like I don't go on dates. Like it always ends up like I end up dating my friends or whatever because I'm too scared to go on dates.
Well, dating is scary.
Yeah. I
mean, going to a public place with a stranger you've met on 1 or 2 times.
And the only way to do it now is like apps, and like I can't bring myself to do it. I can't bring myself to just meet up with some random person. I did it once in college. Actually, it ended up really well. Like that person, it's a crazy story. That person, I went on a Tinder date in college. That's when Tinder wasn't just like it was the new thing that people were like going on dates. It wasn't just like we're trying to fuck, or maybe it was and I just didn't know. And I've
never known it to be we're trying to fuck ever.
Really?
The whole time. Like I've never just met someone and hooked up and never talked to them again before.
Well, now because like Bumble and I feel like Hinge and those kind of things are more like dating, and I feel like Tinder has become more the hookup app. But at the time, like I met up with this guy. I think I was just so lonely in college that I was like, I gotta do something. So I met up with this guy, and he like I think he thought we were gonna hook up, and then got the vibe that I didn't think that. And then like he went to drive me home, and he was like, "Can I ask you something?" And he goes, "Are you a virgin?" And I was like, yeah.
None of your business.
And I was like, "How could you tell?" He was like, "Just your body language and like everything." Like I think I just like seemed really uncomfortable with everything.
Yeah.
But he actually then we ended up like hanging out again, and he took me to the Comedy Store for the first time.
Oh, very cool.
Not only did he take me to Comedy Store for the first time, he took me to Roast Battle for the first time, which ended up being the thing that started like my whole career.
Oh yeah.
And but that was before I started doing comedy and any of that. And he took me there, and then like a year later I was doing comedy, and we didn't work out. You know, we went on like a few dates, and then he was like, "I think we should just be friends." And then I was like, "I love you," even though I didn't. I was just like, it was.
I finished all of the bananas.
Yeah.
And I love you.
I ate too many Runtz bananas.
I don't know which one I'm crying about right now.
I honestly, every time I cry, it's half I'm lonely and half I ate too much.
Because when you started, you had all these banana friends, and you weren't lonely, and then you ate all your friends.
And then I ate them, and then I'm like, and I'm fat, and that's why I'm alone. And then my entire life.
I don't know how to break the cycle.
I'm not depressed. It's just that. It's all that. I'm lonely, and I ate too many fucking bananas.
Yeah. Which sucks out all the serotonin out of your brain and makes you more lonely and depressed.
It does, yeah, because sugar is like, you know, it's fun. I also recently quit drinking like 2 months ago.
Oh, congratulations.
And so like now all I want is sugar. Like I guess
is that what happens?
It makes your brain like crave sugar.
Wow.
Because it's like the dopamine that your body wants. And also alcohol is a lot of sugar. And so I'm just missing that.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I want candy all the time. But Yeah, he took me, and then so like it didn't work out between us, but then I started doing comedy like a year later, and he would like come to my shows, and like he's now married, and him and like his now wife, but back then wasn't, like I got them into the Alec Baldwin roast taping.
Oh, cool.
And like all of that stuff, and we're like friends. He does like sound stuff for like Sirius Radio. He like works with some comics, like is friends with them, and he's kind of like around, and like we're friends, and it's super cool.
Yeah.
But I've never been on a dating app date since. And someone was like, well, it sounds like you kind of had like a good experience. Like,
yeah.
Why didn't, and I was like, I don't know. I feel like don't push it, you know?
Right.
Like I had one good experience. I feel like everyone has that, like with poker, you know, like you do well, you have the beginner's luck, and then you're like, I'm really good at this, and then you keep playing and lose all your money. Or like stand up, you like do really well the first time you go on stage, and then you're like, I'm great at this, and then you bomb for a year. You know, it's like that.
Yeah.
So I feel like just leave it at the one good date that I ever had.
Well, maybe you can just leave Tinder and go to maybe
another app.
Another one.
Possibly. I don't know why I'm so. I think it's also not just fear. It's also like I already don't like doing things.
Nothing. You like staying at the house?
Yeah. To get me to like leave my house, like it has to be either like a pretty good friend that I love hanging out with, or I'm like working or doing stand up or whatever. So to go and like dedicate a night to someone that I have no idea whether they're going to be cool or not. Yeah. That sounds like, why would I do that?
You can, I think you can tell before you go on the date. Like I didn't really screen. I went on a date, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and I didn't really screen this lady very well.
Yeah. What's your screening process?
Well, normally I talk to him on the phone.
Okay. So, see, that's where it ends for me. If a guy's like, want to FaceTime? I'm like, no.
Oh, no. I don't.
So much anxiety.
I pace when I talk on the phone, but I'm from the phone generation. Like I had a phone in my room when I was in high school. Like I had my own line.
Right.
So like I've always just talked to folks. The girl that I dated before that, for the last couple of years, we talked for 4 or 5 hours, 3 nights in a row before our first date.
Oh, wow.
And we still had plenty to talk about on the date.
Yeah.
So then when things went the way they did on our first date, it didn't feel like a first date. It was just...
That's nice.
Yeah.
I get, yeah.
So if you find a way to talk to somebody for like more, it's not just like, hey, do you like mountains? I like mountains. Let's go on a date. Like that's not enough. You got to like...
Sure.
But my problem is I'll know into somewhat of a conversation that I'm like, oh, this would never work. And then I'm like, what are you doing Tuesday? I'm like, why did I say that out loud?
Yeah.
Like, but I got to stop doing that.
Yeah. I mean, I probably should like go on app, because otherwise I just end up dating comedians. And
yeah, I mean, most other female comics have been
me.
like, no more dude comics ever.
Yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons to it.
Yeah.
But the biggest con is just after you break up, you still have to fucking see their face all the time.
Yeah.
And you have mutual friends. And
well, it's a good motivator to get more famous than them and then good on the road.
Honestly, so much of my life has been like motivated by, well, now I got to be funnier than this guy. Mm-hmm. Like I don't think I'd be as successful. Not that I'm that successful, but I don't think I'd be as funny if I didn't have that motivation of I've been dumped by like 3 different comedians, and now I got to prove that I'm better than them.
Well, what you could do is one by one win them all back, and then just when you get them, you're like, I'm dumping you now. I'm out. Yeah. And then you have the power.
I do have that fantasy, but I don't think any of them ever want me.
They're like, I'm not falling for this shit.
Yeah. Well, no, they've all kind of become like my friends. Because here's the thing. A lot of times they're my friend first. Mm-hmm. And then we date. And then it doesn't work out. And then like we don't really talk to each other for a while. And then we see each other and we're like, oh yeah, we were like better friends.
Yeah.
We were better as friends. And so then we just become friends again. And it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't really have any bad blood with any of them. So I guess that's good. But I still am motivated by like, I have to be funnier and more successful than you are.
Yeah. I have not ever dated a comedian, male or female. Mm-hmm. I don't date men, but I just wanted to say that.
Okay.
Still hope out there, I guess.
Yeah. You never know.
But I have had a lot of haters because I got some fortunate opportunities through the camera side of comedy that got me to places I shouldn't be as a comedian yet.
Yeah.
So that motivates me to become as funny as I possibly can, as fast as possible, because I want to be like, ha,
totally.
I proved you wrong, sort of.
And I never really get that hate. Like, honestly, I wouldn't even hate like if a girl, because sometimes, and a lot of times, this is them making up shit. Like, they just think like, oh, this girl slept with this guy to get something. The truth is, if you're going to get something, you never sleep with the guy. You make him think that one day, possibly, maybe in the future, there's a 1% chance that maybe he could. Yeah. That's the way to get stuff.
Right.
You don't sleep with them. Then
if you sleep
like,
with them first,
now I don't have to give you anything.
You're not getting anything. Oh, no, I've seen that so many times.
But even if they did sleep with someone to get something, it's like, if they get an opportunity off of something and then they crush that opportunity, good for them. They were talented enough to get that. Like, however someone gets an opportunity is irrelevant, and because either they're going to not crush that opportunity and then they don't get other opportunities from it, or they are going to crush it and then guess what, they deserved it anyway
and they didn't have to fuck for it, and then they found out the hard way.
And even if they exactly. Right. but like sometimes, you got to do something even just to be seen.
Yeah.
And then, not that I've done that. I don't want to give off the impression that I have fucked for an opportunity. I'm saying I wouldn't judge someone if they did and then crush that opportunity.
I definitely would, but I don't think anybody that I would have a sexual proclivity to would want to have sex with me just to give me an opportunity. They could probably just talk me into doing it for free.
Sure.
Unless we're talking about dudes, and then there has to be a hell of an opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm saying, even if, like, say you got an opportunity off of doing some camera shit, and then you were funny at that opportunity, like,
which hasn't happened yet, but maybe one day.
I mean, I'm sure you're, being self-deprecating.
Yes.
I'm sure you're very funny.
I'll prove you wrong.
Okay.
One day. Much like I've been doing for the last hour and 24 minutes. No. Not being funny.
By the way, that's what I do with dating when guys are like, you're amazing. You're like the coolest girl I've ever met. I'm like, I'll prove you right. And just wait. Give it 3 months. You know what I realized? It takes exactly 3 months for guys to decide, maybe I was wrong about this. For some reason, it's always 3 months. That's either when they break up with me or when I'm like, I don't think they're into it anymore. I don't know what it is about that.
3 months seems like it's still in the new phase in 3 months.
Yeah, I get to it quicker.
Wow.
I guess.
You're a pro.
It's the depression, you know. They're like, this is a lot.
Right. They don't get that you're joking when you're doing like morbid stuff. You're like, what do you want to do today? Should we jump off a bridge? And they're like, no, I thought we'd go to the store. Yeah,
I do get a lot of Jesus. Which is why I've only been able to date comics, because like they get it. Also, a lot of times me flirting might come off as me being mean or roasty or whatever it is.
Oh, kid in the sandbox.
Yeah, but my last boyfriend kind of put an end to that at the beginning. He was like, yeah, we're not going to do that. He was like, I don't like that. And I'm like, I'm just being fun and flirty. He's like, yeah, no, you're just making me feel bad, and that's not what you should do in a relationship. And I'm like,
wow,
fucking gay, but okay.
I mean, good on him for like establishing his communication boundaries, but
he did, and you know what? It worked. But then after we broke up, I'm like, now I'm allowed to make fun of you as much as I want because you dumped me. So
in front of other people on a microphone.
Yeah.
Do you ever? Well, I don't know. Do you ever call people out on stage specifically, or do you just go like my ex-boyfriend?
No, I don't use names usually.
And so funny.
And I don't think any of my jokes about like breakups, because I have a lot of jokes about breakups. A lot of my comedy has to do with heartbreak and breaking up and getting out there and whatever. But none of them, I don't think any of them are unflattering to the dude necessarily. The most is like one of them, I'm just basically saying he's too emotionally mature.
Oh wow, you don't hear that every day.
Well, because the thing is, like, and I'm not gonna like go into my whole bit, but like I was like the hornier one in the relationship, and when women are the hornier ones in the relationship that's like hard for us because like society tells us growing up like men are horny as fuck. They'll fuck anything. You know, you see the sitcoms, it's always the husband who wants to fuck and the wife's like, I have a headache or whatever. So when you're a woman who wants to have sex and the dude doesn't want to have sex, you feel like I must be the most hideous thing on the planet, you know?
Yeah.
And so like that's something that I like to talk about a lot in my stand-up because I want women to feel less alone with that. Because actually like I was reading statistics on it, especially in like married couples, it's actually usually the opposite. It's usually the woman who is wanting sex more and the man's like, no thanks.
Especially like later 30s, early 40s.
Yeah,
like,
because we're hitting our sexual prime and men are
all gassed out.
Yeah.
They got ED pills for that now.
Exactly. So it's like,
it's a cruel.
And I was dating an older guy. So like it made me feel bad about myself. I was like, I'm going to talk about this on stage because I feel like a lot of women go through this and like people don't talk about it. And then I also talked about like my dad when I was growing up being like, you know, men only want one thing. Be careful. Like they only want one thing. So then I got in a relationship and I was like, this is going to be easy. They only want one thing.
Yeah.
You know? But,
snacks.
But I was like, but it sucks. They want more than one thing. They want support and shit. Like, you know, and then I just go into like how like I thought that I like all I had to do to be good at a relationship was like be like, I'm going to suck your dick. But that's not like he wanted emotional support and like to talk, and I was like, ugh, you know.
You're the dude.
Well,
you're the
like,
metaphorical dude.
Well, I think all women are like this, and it's sad. It's a sad truth that like we think we want a dude who talks about feelings, but really we just want a dude who talks about our feelings. You know?
Oh, interesting. That's so funny.
Or when we say feelings, like we just want to know how much you feel about us. Like we just want to be like, we want you to be like, I love you so much. Like you're so beautiful, whatever. We don't want like, you know, this thing that you said earlier hurt me because in my childhood. And I'm like, ugh.
Tune out right away.
Yeah.
You want to be like, here's how I feel about us.
Yeah. The feelings I want are like, oh my God, you're the most amazing woman I've ever met. And yeah, those are the feelings we want to hear, not actual feelings. Gross.
Gross.
But it's sad because guys should be able to express their feeling. I don't know. I do think guys should cry more.
Yeah. I mean, we all cry when we're drunk. Guys.
Is all of you?
Yeah, all of it. We cry at the meeting.
You get drunk.
It's the getting drunk cry meeting that we have on Thursdays.
Well, I mean, I think that might be. I don't know that I've necessarily experienced that, but is that how you allow yourself to cry? Is getting drunk?
Only in front of other dudes.
Okay.
Just in groups of dudes.
Really?
Yeah.
You guys all get together and cry.
Sit in my
and
living
drunk?
room and we cry.
I want to be invited to these meetings.
If that existed, you could totally come.
That sounds lovely. I should want to watch a group of men cry.
That would be actually a really great stage performance. It's like, you know, on Broadway, it's just like a bunch of straight men of all different ethnicities. Just
that would be like
crying.
The vagina monologues, but for dudes.
Yeah.
I
don't. You know what? They don't have to be straight. I don't know why I said that. I just thought that maybe gay men would cry more readily.
Probably straight men kind of still have it in them that they shouldn't cry. Yeah.
Like just a whole hour and a half of just like Goodwill Hunting, it's not your fault stuff.
Yeah.
Just like men on stage.
But the amount of dudes that I've met that are like, I haven't cried in 10 years. I'm like, that's awful.
A lie. That's what it is.
It is a lie.
That's bullshit.
It is a lie. Because then those guys, I will meet those guys and they'll say that and then they'll cry like 2 days later watching a movie and they're like, I never do this.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, really? I'm the first person to make you feel safe enough to cry. That's a good line, but
the guy, the general from Band of Brothers, when he he's writing the letter to the mom who lost 4 kids, and he says assuaged. I don't even know what that fucking word means, but I'm like, assuaged.
You're moved by the word.
She lost 4 kids.
I do notice that like movies and TV shows, they allow men to cry. Like for some reason, they will allow themselves to cry at that, but not like if they're actually going through something.
Yeah.
Like they allow themselves to like cry at some fictional thing that people are going through, especially if it's like some kind of father-son thing.
Oh yeah.
Any kind of father-son.
Are you
thing.
my dad?
Yeah, it makes a dude cry immediately.
Yes. I also can't handle more than 3 or 4 part harmony, a la like musicals.
Really?
I will just lose it.
Really?
I mean, just waterworks, dude.
That's crazy.
Just like
I mean, I'm like that too, but I was like in choir and I'm like a huge like choir nurse, like a good harmony, a good choir.
Yeah, like the entire ensemble is singing a different
vibrates in your soul.
Yes,
it really does.
We had like a 4-hour drive from Long Island to New Jersey 2 weekends ago, and we were just playing all of our favorite. Oh, you pick one in the car, like theater hits. Oh, Rent came on, and I was like, okay, are you familiar with the play Rent?
Yes.
From the 90s?
Yes.
And it was the one track that gets me every fucking time, and my buddy just puts it on. He starts singing at the top of his lungs, and I just put my sunglasses on in the backseat of the car, and I was like,
which one? Which track?
It's when Mark and the other dude have the duet in the second act.
Okay.
And I don't know the name of it.
Yeah. I'm familiar with like 3 songs from that. I'm the one that everyone knows. The
500. Yeah.
And then
so funny,
and then I love the lesbian one. The Take Me Baby.
Yeah. That's great. I did see it on Broadway in 98, the second cast, and some of the originals were there.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love. You know what's funny is maybe it's just in comedy, but I've met so many men that are more into theater. Like I didn't think that this many like straight men were into like musical theater. So many of them are.
Well, mathematically, there have to be straight men that like theater, or they wouldn't sell enough tickets.
Sure.
It can't just be every audience member is like a woman who loves theater and drugged their husband to go.
Well, you know what I realize is sometimes, because in the dating world, what I've noticed is sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between rich and gay. I feel like rich men and gay men have a lot of the same hobbies. They dress very well. They're going to the theater, you know.
I like where you're going. I didn't want to interrupt you because I've just noticed that I knew that was going to be a clip when you said it. So I was like, I'm not going to be like, because I hate hearing that.
We're doing this all for the clicks, you know?
That's exactly why we're here, right?
But I've noticed that just like when I meet a guy and I'm like, I am into this guy, but I don't know if he's gay or just like a fancy rich guy.
Super rich. Okay. On the flip side, though, does it translate like I can't tell if you're straight or poor?
Yeah, a poor gay guy probably does come off as pretty straight.
Does a poor gay look straight?
Yeah. He's got a mattress on the floor. That screams straight.
Yeah.
Or just poor. Because I have met rich straight guys that still have their mattress on the... Not rich, but like they have enough money to have a bed frame.
Right.
I know several of these men that you make money. I had a boyfriend who had a Cartier watch and his mattress was on the floor. And I was like...
No box spring?
No box.
Mattress floor.
Mattress on the floor.
Not even a low profile bed frame that made it seem like it was like 2 inches off the ground.
Just mattress on the floor.
Not even a piece of wood.
And no. And I was like, what the fuck is, and he's like, I don't know. Just why do I need one? Like, because I'm your girlfriend now and I said so. Get it.
I couldn't afford one after I bought this Cartier watch.
I have forced so many men in my life to get bed frames. They don't even have to be my boyfriend. If you're my good enough friend, I'm going to go, dude, get a bed frame.
You need to get a promo code for bed frames.
Yeah.
Yeah, for 15% off bed frames.
Bed frames and more than one ply toilet paper, or you're not getting pussy from anybody. I just like, or if you are, like.
The one ply is tough because if you choose it for yourself, like what else do you feel like you deserve? Right. Like I wouldn't date someone that had one ply.
That's awful.
I've also never met a woman that would choose one ply.
No.
The one ply is for public restrooms.
I also dated a guy who only wiped his ass with tissues.
That's a fancy son of a bitch.
Right?
Yeah.
He would not do toilet paper. He only used tissue. Like he would buy tissues in like bulk, just like huge things of tissues just for wiping his ass.
No, are they the wet, like the baby wipes?
No. Dry tissues. Because the thing about wet wipes is actually if you flush them too much, it clogs your toilet eventually. Even the ones that say flushable.
Having a very vague knowledge of how plumbing works, it's almost impossible for that to be true.
Really?
There's nowhere for them to save and build up in the pipes. Like they just flush out into the bigger pipe.
It's what I've been told.
Oh, your apartment manager will tell you that all fucking day long.
Interesting.
But the toilet.
Oh, because they're looking for a way to blame you.
Yeah.
Got you.
So, well, in the toilet. Do we want to get into this?
I mean, we already talked about shitting pants.
We did. Do you have a shitting pants story before we get into the inner workings of a toilet?
They're boring ones. Mostly just trusting a fart. That
Okay.
You know.
I have a question that I think is probably inappropriate to ask you, but this came up with the baby wipes.
Shoot.
When I started dating the lady that I was just telling you about, I also once that relationship started, I started ordering a ton of baby wipes because the cleanup was easier.
The cleanup of
The sex cleanup.
yeah.
So what I really want to ask you is, do you have like a devastating or weird like sex cleanup story where some dude was like, here's a fucking 1-ply piece of toilet paper, or like, here's a towel I took to the beach last week?
Definitely dudes have tossed me like a t-shirt and I'm like, you use your t-shirts to, but you know, I'm never really.
I've pulled the t-shirt maneuver because it was like, oh, it's just
It
here
makes
on the ground.
sense.
Yeah.
I've never really judged someone for what they use for their cum cleanup because it's cum. I'm sorry I said the word cum. We were trying to.
This is a Christian podcast.
I feel like we were trying to avoid the word cum, and I just said it.
You did.
It's a jarring word to hear.
It is.
But yeah, like yeah, whatever you want to use. A 1-ply toilet, I feel like that wouldn't be usable.
It's not very effective.
Usually, if I'm in a relationship, we have a designated towel.
Oh, that's the...
We designate a towel for it. Yeah.
And you write like, this is Brad, or you just like name the towel.
Yeah. No, we've never named the towel.
If you had to name a cum towel, what would you name it?
mean, like,
and is it a full size or like a hand towel? Is it like a big...
It's a
like beach towel?
Well, the last one was a beach towel.
Okay.
I don't know why we decided. I think it was because it was bright orange. So we're like, we'll never forget that that's
You're
the
not
one.
going to be in the bathroom like,
We're not going to confuse it with another towel. You got to make it like a funky color or like a bright color. But we never named it. I feel like, I don't know. A good name for like a cum rag would be like Ashley. No offense to Ashleys out there.
I just pictured 3 specific Ashleys and it was fucking perfect, dude.
Please don't come at me, Ashleys.
Oh,
You don't
man.
want to fuck with the Ashleys.
I'm going to send it directly to them.
Yeah, send them to the Ashleys
This is
in
what
your
I
life,
think
please.
about when I think of you, Ashley.
You know what? Since we're going for tag an Ashley.
This goes viral because every Ashley
Everyone's
gets tagged.
just tagging Ashley.
We can sell tickets now.
See, Ashley, I told you were a cum rag, you big slut. That's what... Women love to talk to each other like that.
Really?
Well, I think it started with gay men talking to women like that.
Yeah.
Like, Ashley, a big slut, because they could. And
Right.
then women started to kind of claim it also.
Um,
Like, love you, whore.
right, or bitch, right? Because it's cool for gay guys to call women bitches.
But we're just getting dirtier and dirtier. We're like, good to see you, dirty old cum rag. You know, the loudest people are always the one, and they were loud, you know. Just like Twitter, it seems like everyone's going after this person. It's like, no, it's like 1% of 1% of the internet.
Which is a lot of
that
people.
we're all listening to.
Yeah.
And shouldn't.
I can't get behind Twitter or X or the new one.
Well, yeah, X is a stupid name for anything.
Yeah, because you don't send an X.
I never go to Twitter anymore.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I've never had any followers on it, so I was like, I'll just wait till I'm famous on another platform and then put out one blast. It's like, follow me on Twitter, everybody.
Yeah, and like words are boring.
Yeah.
I want to go on Instagram and I want to see like puppies and Instagram influencers' butts.
Or both.
Or both.
Like
puppies and butts.
Influencer butts walking puppies.
Just the butt walking the puppy?
No, I mean attached to the rest of them.
Sure.
But they'd have to get a videographer if they're moving, because a lot of the influencer stuff is just on a tripod.
Yeah. I mean, maybe a new job avenue for you.
Or we could invent a helmet, right? And coming off of the helmet and going way far back, you put your phone, but you angle it down so they never see your head, and then you can walk your puppy and see your ass at the same time.
Okay. I like it.
What do we name that helmet?
Oh, Jesus. Now you're asking me to improv?
You don't have to. I got a couple ideas.
Okay, go. Headbutt.
Oh, that's not bad. But it needs a silly number, right?
It needs a number?
Yeah, like 2,000 is always funny to me. Like the headbutt 2,000.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. But we're way past 2,000.
You mean in years?
Yeah. Does that pertain to the year, or does it pertain, because it's not like there were 1,999 headbutts before that.
No, I think 2,000 just implied futuristic shit if it was like the 80s and 90s.
Sure. So now it's got to be 3,000.
That's better. That is better.
Because that's the future.
The headbutt 3,000.
Yeah.
Okay. That's better than what I had. I was going to say ass head.
Okay.
But that's not great.
There's no bad ideas in brainstorming, so I've heard.
Oh, there are. They're coming. Yeah. Now I'm totally blanking.
That's okay.
I end every episode the same way.
Okay.
What is the best meal you've ever had in your whole life?
Wow. The best meal I've ever had in my whole life.
And while you're thinking, I'll quantify it. Most
Okay.
people either go one of two ways. They go best sit-down meal at a restaurant.
Sure.
That they naturally gravitate that way, or the best meal that was cooked for them at home or in a family setting.
Interesting. Okay. I'm a really simple gal. I love a good steak. So I remember for some reason, and maybe it was because I was a little drunk also, but at the New York Hotel in Vegas, there's a steak restaurant called Gallagher's, and I had a filet mignon from there, and I just remember I was like, I could die right now and I would be happy. It was like such a good steak. But then I had it recently and I was like, this is good. But for some reason, that one time I remember having it and I was like, this is the best thing I've ever had. It was a steak from that.
From Gallagher's.
From Gallagher's after a couple glasses of wine. So it might have just been that I was like happy and drunk and
was it red?
Hungry.
The wine was a red wine?
It was red wine, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you paired it the right way.
Which I miss. I do miss wine.
Mm-hmm.
I miss wine.
We miss wine.
Yeah.
Now I want to talk about Vegas, but we'll have to do that next time.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I don't have anywhere else
I could
to
talk
go.
about Vegas all day.
Do you like Vegas?
I like it. It also is probably bad for me. I worked in Vegas for 3 weeks. I wrote on a show called BattleBots.
Oh, shit.
And I was in...
There's writing in BattleBots?
There sure is. And I had to be there for 3 weeks, and I definitely came out even. I got paid all 3 weeks, but I definitely did not come home with those paychecks just because...
Oh, wow.
Food and strippers and alcohol.
Strippers?
I love strip clubs.
You do?
I love them.
Do you date women sometimes?
I have had sex with women. I've never dated one, but I could probably.
Could you date a stripper?
Oh, yeah. I don't know, because I'm a jealous person.
Yeah.
I'm a jealous person because I think I even get jealous if I get a lap dance from a stripper and then she afterward, because of course after they get their money and then they just immediately go and try and get a lap dance from someone else. I'm like, it wasn't real. I am one of those people.
You're like, bitch, get back over here.
I do kind of half fall in love with strip. I am a sucker. I am one of those suckers in a strip club where I'm like, I think she likes me. Ashley,
get back over here.
Yeah, where do you think you're going? I gave you $20.
Clearly, I have more money.
I think they're impressed with me. I'm like, yeah, I'm here because I'm writing on something, and they're like, oh my god, that's so cool. It's like they don't give a fuck. Right. They're like, BattleBots, okay.
They become BattleBots experts for as long as the money lasts.
I swear to God, there was this strip club that I was going to almost every day. We loved it. We called it Shitty Titties. That wasn't the name of it, but that was just what we named it. This girl had great titties. I don't mean to say the strippers had shitty titties. It was just kind of like a strip club that no one was ever at, and it was like a shitty strip club.
Right.
The girls were great, but we went there and so often that I felt like I became friends with one of them, and she came to one of the tapings of BattleBots.
Wow.
I told the producers hey, I have can I get this stripper on a guest list? And they were like, we love you.
Nice. Because that's probably the first stripper that ever went to a BattleBots taping.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. Where did you guys film? You don't have to say.
They have like a tent there. Like the BattleBots tent is like in Vegas. It's like a big thing. It's like,
oh, they sell tickets to the people that are in Vegas.
Yeah, I think they even have like live shows that aren't necessarily filmed, and people go and watch. Honestly, I thought it was the dumbest thing when I was offered the job, and I was like embarrassed to tell people that I like was working on that. And then I went and I worked on it, and I was like, this is the dopest thing I've ever seen. It's so cool to see live.
Vacuum cleaners just beating the shit out of each other.
They're just like lighting each other on fire and sawing each other in half and sending each other flying. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, and it's like fathers and sons that start crying when I watch BattleBots.
Dude, most of them are so awkward and do not know how to be interviewed at all, but there's a few that have like personalities, and you can tell like they're not the ones that did most of the building. They're just like the face of the the robot. They're like, we're gonna pretend like you built this because you are the least disgusting of everyone on this team.
The rest of the team's picking their nose and scratching their pits in the back.
And then they have one like cute girl that's like, the face of the robot.
I'm gonna be an engineer. You're like, sure, Ashley.
Actually. But yeah, it's cool.
What was the stripper's name?
Oh shit!
I'm sure it wasn't her real name, so you can probably say it.
I don't. Okay, so we actually follow each other on Instagram. Her name's the Pantychrist on Instagram. That's all I remember. I don't remember her.
The internet
real
is
name.
Undefeated.
That was a great name.
Holy cow!
I forget her actual name. Everyone follow the Pantychrist. You know what she did? You know what was great about her is she basically was like, give me any. Cause she liked someone. She was like, give the DJ any song for me to dance to next, and we picked Baby Shark, and it ended up being she wanted to dance to the metal there's a metal version of Baby Shark, and she danced to it, and that's probably the most money I made seen any stripper make all night in that strip club, because people were like, hell yeah, dude, the stripper's dancing to a metal version of Baby Shark. That rules.
It's like
yeah, it was Baby Shark. It's pretty good, actually.
Man, I moved here with my band in 06, and we would go to this shitty titties in the valley, and I'll say the name. It's called Star Gardens. It's about the size of this room, which is not very big. I know I make it look massive on television, but the stage is like, it's super tiny, and there'd always be this one girl that she was lazy. She just kind of leaned against the pole. And during a 3.5 minute song, she would like, take off her t-shirt. But then she had like 4 pairs of underwear on, and she would just let us play underwear basketball.
Hilarious.
For 3 minutes.
Dude, strippers are so funny. They're so, like, honestly, some of them I'm like, you're funnier than I could ever be.
Yeah. I wonder if the stripping industry is going to take a hit when they realize that these girls can just do it at home and get OnlyFans money.
Yeah. I bet it has. I bet it has taken a hit. Yeah. But there probably is something about them that like if you actually enjoy it and you're not just doing it for like money, I think some of them do like the performance aspect of it. And that's like more like live performing. That's the difference between doing like a Zoom show and like a live show. You're not getting the...
Well, there's competitive pole dancing.
Right. Well, that's different, right? That's not event. Like sexy. That's like, I mean, it is sexy, but
it's
like
aggressive.
They're strong.
If you get turned on by that, then
they are strong.
Yeah, they're athletes.
That's crazy to be able to just like hold yourself up.
Yeah, like Superman. Like
that's insane.
That's nuts. It's a good workout. My friend has a pole dancing fitness class.
Yeah, it's an art. That and I have friends that have done like the ribbon, like you're like suspended in the air by just like ribbon like that.
Oh, like the rope stuff, and you can like
yeah.
I don't even know what that's.
That
aerialists.
Like acrobatic shit.
That stuff is so nuts.
It's crazy, and you got to be really muscular, and it's impressive.
Yeah, I just want to be that strong for like a day.
I mean, you could take a pole dancing class.
I sure could.
Yeah.
I don't have the right shoes.
I mean, you could get them.
Yeah. I just don't know if I'd be able to do the drag. You know, they always drag their foot.
Yeah.
They're very good at that.
The drag and stomp.
Yeah. Oh, and the slap together is always so aggressive.
I heard that's because, I don't know where I heard this from, but I heard that's because like what you get, the feeling you get from fear, like that adrenaline is like the same thing almost as arousal. And so like the loud sound just being like it arouses for some reason.
All right.
I don't know.
I was trying to implement that in my head. I was like, how do I get myself to be scared and aroused at the same time when I get home?
I never realized like that was something, because yeah, whenever I saw strippers do that, like clack the heels together or like stomp really hard, I'm like, doesn't that just like make an image in your head of like being stomped on by them? Like, well, I just imagine balls under that heel.
I think a lot of guys picture that, and that's what they like.
They're into it, yeah.
I've never pictured someone stomping on my balls and been like, oh, I can't wait.
You know what it is? I feel like a lot of super wealthy men are into that shit because they have like so much power and stuff that they like the dominatrix shit. So maybe that's who they're going for. They're like, I'm trying to arouse the wealthiest person here, so I'm going to be scary as fuck.
And if they're not aroused by it, then they might be gay.
Yeah.
Because it's rich or gay, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What if your name was Richard Gay?
You know what's fun? I had a music teacher in elementary school called Gaylord Shepherd, and I was like,
that sounds like a musical artist I've heard of before.
Is it?
Maybe not.
Maybe he went on to be a successful music artist after teaching first graders. But you know,
chance.
I was not old enough to understand how funny that name was.
Gaylord Shepherd.
It does sound like a rich guy, though.
It does.
Yeah.
A gay lord.
A gay lord.
Lord gay. I don't know. I try not to make too many gay jokes because I don't want to like feel like I'm marginalizing
right. Yeah.
Or shitting on a marginalized people. But
sometimes I do resort to 90s comedy.
Yeah. Well,
but I'm half gay, so
there you go.
You know.
You can do that.
It's okay.
When we said gay in 8th grade, it wasn't like talking about sexual orientation.
I also think that like, yeah, saying like wealthy and straight men, I mean wealthy and gay men kind of have a lot in common. I mean, you know, they're both fancy and well groomed and have hobbies that are cultured. Yeah.
Cultured comedies. Let's plug all your stuff.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm choking on my own throat.
I don't have much stuff right now, but please follow me on all social media. Follow me on Instagram at Nicole Becannon, Becannon. Come out to a show. Hopefully, maybe I'll start up my podcast again. I want to, and please listen to that if I do. Just watch out for general things on Instagram. That's usually where I post all my stuff. Which would
also be a great name for a podcast.
What?
Watch out for general things on Instagram.
Yeah. General things on Instagram.
Yeah. Any shows coming up?
Yeah, I'm sure I do. I'd have to think about it. Yeah. I'm not. I should be more readily prepared with what shows I have coming up.
Well, check the general things on Instagram.
I know I'll be in Vegas again. December, I believe 16th with Chris Estrada.
That's a good time to be in Vegas because the F1 race is in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Or 3 weeks, and it's a shit show.
It's at the Punk Rock Museum.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Punk Rock Museum, and I believe it's being hosted by Fat Mike from NoFX.
That's sick.
Yeah, it's going to be a really fun show. And Brian Vokey's on it also.
No way.
Yeah, me and Brian Vokey and Chris Estrada. Saturday, December 16th.
Saturday, December 16th.
I definitely have shows in between that, but that's the one that I'm most excited about. So it's the one I'm plugging.
Yeah. Do you know if the 16th, is that a Saturday?
I believe so. It's like a Friday or Saturday. Yeah, I think it's a Saturday.
That's cool. Vegas shows.
Definitely is a Saturday, yeah.
I'm doing Vegas on the January 19th at Wise Guys.
That's where I just was.
Yeah.
It was very fun. Are you doing the Town Square one or the Arts District one?
I didn't know there was two.
There are two. Well, the Arts District one has been open for a few years now, and then they just opened the Town Square one a few months ago, and it's bigger. It's like, I think it's like twice the size. That's the one I did.
Probably be it.
It's really fun. It's a fun, yeah. And apparently that's like a club where also it's a lot of locals. It's not like touristy. It's like that's a club where a lot of the locals go. So it's dope. Yeah.
Yeah. I just went to Jimmy Kimmel's for the first time.
Oh, nice.
They don't have a bathroom.
I heard that. That's wild. That they have to like leave the club, like walk upstairs. Down the street.
Yeah. It's like upstairs. So you go downstairs and then you have to go back out on the street, and they're like, it's 3 doors down, and you go down and it's like just some security exit.
We were talking about that. We're like, you got to think like a third of the people that leave to go to the bathroom just are like, fuck it, and don't come back.
Exactly.
Because they're already drunk.
Yeah. And they leave the room lit.
Yeah.
So I can't. There has to be a bathroom in there somewhere. Like, how is the headliner going to have to go?
It seems like such an oversight. Like, that's some shit I would do if I I'd be like, oh fuck, I forgot the bathroom.
Well, if I was Jimmy Kimmel, I wouldn't
Yeah.
want people's experience at my club to be like they didn't have a bathroom.
It's nuts. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Do they have one in the green room or?
I don't know. I wasn't there I was going to see a friend.
Oh, okay.
And I was supposed to be on the list, and then they were like, "You're not on the list." And I was like, "Well, can I come in anyway?"
Isn't that the worst feeling?
Yeah. I was like, "Here's the text from the comic that's performing tonight," and they were like, "Okay, come on in."
Yeah.
I was like, I could put anybody's name on my phone.
It's true.
I'm like, Jimmy Kimmel invited me, and they were like, "Come on in."
Yeah, I'd probably be like that too. I'd be like, yeah, whatever, fuck it, okay, cool.
It's so easy to get into comedy shows that aren't sold out.
You know what I've noticed is just anywhere if you look like you belong and you just walk by with confidence and you're like, oh yeah, I belong. People are like, all right, most of the time.
Yeah.
But I just never have that kind of confidence. If I'm like on the show, I'll walk in like, I think I'm supposed to be. Do you need to see my ID? And they're like, you're literally on the poster right here. Like
That's
you're fine.
still your face,
Come
right?
in, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I just don't have that kind of confidence ever.
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing a couple of theaters, and it's the same. Theaters are the same thing every night, but it's different. You know, we got to do talk to the lighting guy, talk to the audio guy, right? Mm-hmm. But there's like 400 ushers that are always standing at every door, and I just don't have time to be like, hey, I'm the camera guy. I'm gonna fucking blah, blah. I'm just like, I don't wear a pass or any of that shit.
Yeah.
I've had one person stop me in the last 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Like,
if you look like you know what you're doing and where you're going,
yeah, fuck them.
no one's gonna stop you.
Fuck them all. I'm having flashbacks.
It's happened a couple times.
I'm having a day.
Do you have PTSD?
I do now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I just got my tours confused because I was picturing a theater in Minnesota.
You've been on the road a lot. You're jumbled.
Yes, I'm trying to brag about how much I've been on the road.
I love it.
Well, I hope to see you on the road and here in LA.
I hope so too.
Thank you for being here.
Of course, I enjoyed being here.
We're friends now.
We are, yeah.
Yeah.
I think after 2 hours, we
You,
can
me, and
say-
Ashley. We're friends
We're
now.
a party.
Or Brad. Yeah.
Or Brad. Ashley and Brad, they're just covered in other people's cum.
That's
This is my cum, right? It's not my cum. It's just visitors come on it.
the next time I do any crowd work and I run into an Ashley, I'm going to immediately ask if there are any single Brads in the crowd, and I'm going to try and
Set
hook them
'em
up.
Yeah.
That's right.
Ashley's and Brad's belong together.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. Having more flashbacks now. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please make sure you go to Vegas and check out Nicole on the 18th of December.
16th.
That's
of
right.
December.
16th of December.
18th, you'll be too late.
It will be too late.
Yeah.
Unless you're still doing your encore. 48 hours later.
I might still be getting applause breaks, you know.
And then check all things Instagram for further or sooner dates. Or just go to the fucking Comedy Store and hang out with some binoculars until you see her walk by.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm there a lot.
Literally there tonight.
Yep,
But by the time this comes out, it'll be 3 nights ago.
probably. Yeah.
Or 4. I can't stop talking now. Bye, everyone. Which camera? I'm going to wave at that camera.
This show's a piece of shit.